Hi everyone, this is Ben with Postfly. Trout anglers shouldn't leave their house this time of year without an October Caddis pupa in their box. As summer comes to a close, this bug will be on the menu for fish from coast to coast. To start on this tie, spool up your 8/0 thread from your kit and tie in behind the hook eye. Lay thread down from your tie-in point down the shank to where your hook starts to bend. Grab your silver saddle hackle. Prep it by finding where the shorter fibers end and the more uniform, consistent running fibers begin, and part the ends here to mark the spot. I find that tying in the feather at this point keeps the resulting leg imitations all the same size. Tie this marked section in where you finished your thread base, with the butt end of the hackle facing away from the hook eye, and leave it for now. The back half of the caddis's body is made up of our amber super dry dubbing material. Take a sparse clump of the stuff and begin wrapping it into a small noodle on your hanging thread. Wrap this noodle forward until you've reached about the halfway point on the shank, adding more dubbing as necessary. The body formed by the dubbing shouldn't be too thick, only a couple of hook shanks in width for measure. When you've reached this halfway point, park your bobbin there and tie off or pull out any remaining dubbing. Now go back to your silver saddle hackle. Holding the feather's butt end, carefully wrap it forwards just in front of where you stopped adding amber dubbing. Make 4 or 5 full turns with it to add plenty of nice buggy legs to the top of this back section. Tie the butt section off at your thread and snip the tag. Take a second to cut any awkward angled hackle fibers with your scissors. This will ensure that they won't get in the way during later steps and will keep your back legs all looking straight. A brown hackle feather will cover the front half of our caddis body. Prepare this one in the same way you did the silver hackle, finding the consistently long fibers and tying it in at this point. Add this feather just in front of where you finished your last wraps, and again angle the butt section back towards the hook bend. Our second body material is peacock dubbing. This stuff is pretty long and stringy, which makes it tricky to twist into a noodle like we did for our amber dubbing. I found the best way to keep it tight and compact is to put it all in a small dubbing loop. To form the loop, lengthen your thread and fold it over a finger of your non-bobbin hand. Put this loop on top of the shank and apply tension while keeping the loop aimed at the hook bend. Take wraps back with your thread to close off the loop and bring your bobbin to where you want your loop addition to begin. Put a small clump of the peacock dubbing into the loop. We'll only be making a couple of turns with it, so no need to go overboard here. Attach the end of your loop to a dubbing spinner, some hackle pliers like these, or even just your finger, and twist to close. You should now have a packed down noodle of peacock dubbing that won't come off your thread as easily. Make a couple of turns forward with the peacock dubbing loop, and stop when there's about half a hook eye of exposed shank remaining to avoid crowding the head. Tie off and cut the excess, then hold onto your scissors and go to work cutting any extra long dubbing fibers. You want this front section to be nice and short. Some of the really small ones, especially over the hook eye, can be a little difficult to hit, but do your best. The fish won't care about a few stray dubbing strands. Then, just as we did at the back, wrap your hackle tag forward. There shouldn't be much of a visible gap from where your silver hackle ends and your brown one begins. Stop wrapping your hackle right on top of where you stopped your peacock dubbing loop, then tie off and cut. Go back in with your scissors and cut any stray brown fibers, just like we did when we finished wrapping our silver. Continue wrapping with just your thread to taper this thicker body into a head on the last short section of exposed shank. Then grab your whip finisher and make a few turns just on top of this thread base. Cut your excess and put a small drop of super glue on your knot. Now your swimming October caddis is good to go. Dead drifted, swung, or skated, this pattern is an excellent choice to fish on your favorite river as the seasons begin to change. Happy fishing, and thanks for watching.